Yo, what is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. The NFL Draft, like I'm saying, is coming, so let's do one more scouting report before we get into the draft process. Keon Coleman, Florida State Seminoles. This guy is a baller, a big favorite of mine. I do like his game quite a bit, and I mean, he is in this upper echelons of talent. Yes, the stat line, we'll talk about that as well. Why it didn't necessarily work out with Michigan State as well, but I mean, there is a lot of positives in this man. Do not let the combine bias, foil you on the 40 time. He's got lots of skills. So let's talk. Keon Coleman, scouting report, Florida State. When you discuss wide receivers like a Keon Coleman, it's easy to fall in love with his game because he is one of those, very good possessional wide receivers with great hands, the ability to do all these things on the field you're looking for from a potential wide receiver one. I do believe he could turn out to be a wide receiver one alpha on any team in the league. It just totally depends on where he does land, because landing spot will definitely dictate terms, but he did very well with what he was given in his time in college, and I do like his game a lot. So let's talk those measurables. As always, 6'3", 213 pounds. He is only 20 years of age, so he's still learning on the fly as well, and there is lots of untapped talent and improvement that could be had in a Keon Coleman. 34 contests, 115 receptions, 1506 in yards, 13.1 on the average, and a nice 19 TD receptions. So we see statistical achievement is definitely here on the docket. It was not on the elite trend, but that's okay. You understand where he was playing, why it didn't necessarily pan out for him on the top end echelons of statistical production, but he is very good in all respects. So let's talk about these pros. Great size and frame, physical, athletic wide receiver like we know. If you know anything about Coleman, he is one of these guys you're looking for. Size, stature, strength is definitely here. Big mitts, and I mean, they're very good hands as well. So I mean, I'll start there, man. His hands are fantastic. Soft like glue. Elite catch concentration, man. And I mean, we see his tape is just loaded with acrobatic grabs, whether it be with Florida State or Michigan State. He was doing the business when it came to all of these plays. You gotta love it, no question. Tape speed is better than tested speed. So, I mean, this is the biggest problem a lot of people do have. They start to write off talent because they don't burn you up the combine at the 4.39s, the 4.41s, okay? And that's the biggest bias you got. We want to see the combine and what these guys do, how they run, what they do well. And I mean, Keon Coleman definitely put on a show because he's got that extremely fluid running ability. Definite pluses for me. We saw what he was able to do on the gauntlet. One of the fastest on the gauntlet. What was it? 21 miles per hour going down the gauntlet on that straight line. No weaving. Fluidity like a madman. And you guys know me with my running backs and wide receivers. They got to be fluid, and I'm giving them the check marks. And Keon Coleman definitely checks all of those boxes. I'm going to give him accelerators over burst at this point. And I think that he's not going to be a field burner by any stretch of the imagination. But I mean, neither is somebody like a Keenan Allen. Neither is somebody like a Mike Evans. And they're able to succeed extremely well in the NFL. So I do like the accelerators over the burst, and there is definitely enough speed at 213 to get by some defensive backs and make plays in the NFL. He's got some elusive run after the catch ability, the make a miss moves. Is he like the juke and shake? No, but he's got the good, around the defensive back moves. He's able to use the stiff arm, body some defensive backs, and able to get some yak. So I do like that about him after the catch. There is potential here also, and it's not going to be the field burner. It's like even Michael Pittman style, where Pittman does get peppered with a lot of targets, and he's able to get down the field in the yak ability. I think that Keon Coleman will be this similar type of skill set when he does get those elusive plays in run after the catch ability. Route manipulation is very strong. He will do the double move, slant and goes. He's able to at least create some of that separation from time to time. There is some issues on that one. I'll caveat in the cons as well, but you do see it. The route manipulation is there. Is he a polished route runner? I'm going to say no as of today. There is improvements, but his route manipulation is very strong, and he will be able to find the open zones in the field. His field awareness is good as well. So I think that there will be very sound opportunities for him to get open in the open field with his route tree, no question. Should have no issues with press, given the fact that he's 6'3", 213. He's got the strength. He's got the muscle ability. And I think that's a big positive for him as well, where we see some of these wide receivers, they're going to struggle with press early on because their stature, their weight, their strength is not necessarily up to par. Keon Coleman is definitely one of these guys that press is not going to be an issue for me. And I think once he improves other aspects of his game, he will absolutely understand how to get off the line extremely skillfully. And, the press should not be an issue for him whatsoever. Discussed his hands already. already, but I mean, he attacks contested catch opportunities. He will go up and get these balls. He will challenge these defenders for these balls, and it's whether it's going to be in the end zone, whether it's going to be, over the middle of the field, he is going, whether it's on the outsides, toe drag, swag, defensive back in his face, he's going to attack these contested catch opportunities. Hence why I'm saying I'm going to caveat the separation marker in the cons, because he has to do it this, you want to say 6 out of 10, he's going to be doing some contested catchability because of the separation issues that he does possess in certain aspects of his game. Elite push-off technical skills. I love this about my wide receivers. If you understand that you're going to be playing contested catchability, you got to push those defenders off without extending your arm fully. Like we know it's going to be an offensive pass interference if your arm is fully extended. He does this so well also that he can create that separation by giving the little nudge to the defensive back and then create the separation to get the pass and to get the catch wherever he is, especially in the end zone, in the red zone. You see this quite a bit. Timing definitely does create that separation for him when he does this. Very good technical skill that is very much underrated for a lot of wide receivers. Red zone ability is elite. He's going to elevate with ease. He's going to try to outjump all these guys, point up to the air to his quarterback, throw the ball up, I'm going to go grab it, and he definitely will come down with that football. Very good in that respect as well. He's got some Mike Evans to his game. There is no question about it. While he's not a speed demon down the field, he definitely is one of these guys that can make a lot of plays for you in a lot of aspects, whether he's running down the field, whether he's going across the field, whether it is in the red zone, end zone, whatever you want to say, he's going to make plays for you, and I do like his game quite a bit. I'm not going to sit here and say the full comp is Mike Evans because I don't think anybody is that right now, but there is a lot of potential where he does have a lot of Mike Evans in his game without question. But for some cons, okay, combine speed, not elite. And this is, again, the recency bias from the combine where you just want to see what they do in the testing, in the drills. But then you go back to the film and you say, well, how does it translate on the film? And, I mean, the tape speed is definitely better than the combine tested speed. 4.61 is not, elite in trend. But, I mean, he is 6'3", 213, and I think that would be more like a 4.49-ish for a guy who's under 200 pounds. So it's not terrible. It's not dreadful. And he can pull away from defenders when he does get the ball in his hands and does try in the open field for that yak ability, man. He won't run away from most, and you're not drafting him to be that guy, like the Keenan Allens, like the, Michael Pittmans. You want these guys to be the possessional wide receivers that do have, yacky ability and can move the chains, can score touchdowns for you, and can be a big play threat opportunity with his hands and ability. So I do like that. He's not going to be anything necessarily with the speed, but he's got a lot of abilities in other aspects of his game. Limited overall college stat line, we know this, not over 1,000 yards is the question. Why? And I mean, he played with subpar quarterbacks. I mean, let's be real. He played with guys, Jordan Travis is a decent quarterback. Is he a great quarterback? No, I don't think anybody's going to argue that. And then going back to Michigan State, didn't have, great quarterbacks there either. So you got to understand, you put him in the NFL system with a very talented offense, with a very talented quarterback, and you will see all of his projected ability start to increase in the pros. And a lot of people will say, well, how did he fall in the draft if he's this good? It's because of these situational aspects and then poor testing in the combine when it comes to speed. So he will get overlooked by some, but I think he's a very talented guy, even though he never got over 1,000 yards receiving in his collegiate career, man. He may live and die with contested plays in the pros. This is something that's going to be seen. I think that he's he's way too intelligent not to round out, the footwork off the line, complementing his route tree, understanding how to gain separation when he is dragging over the field. When he does improve this, then I think, the contested catch, this con might be a moot point at that point. But if he doesn't, this is where I'm saying he may live and die with contested plays where guys are on his hip all the time. The defensive backs are right there. I mean, like I'm saying, the route separation isn't great all the time. I'm not going to say it's not great ever, but it's not great all the time. DBs are stuck on his hip, and he's having to make, extremely talented plays to get the football. So these are the things that we got to look out for when we're talking about a Keon Coleman. So some refinement needed. Release footwork is average at this point, and I think that it can improve absolutely with some training, some schooling in the pros, with these coaches understanding how to at least, get that first step burst a little bit better to get or even a head fake, a juke fake, and get these guys unbalanced so he can absolutely create that separation, man. Slower first step off the line as well. So like I'm saying, all of these situations are improvable. They are coachable, and he can absolutely improve all of these to become that elite talented wide receiver we're looking for. And I think that he is so good in so many respects that a lot of these cons are extremely, improvable, and he will do that in the pros. But I mean, for grading purposes, everybody gets a grade score from me. He graded out fairly well for what he does, and I think that he does belong in the category with a lot of these top-end talented wide receivers. 78.8% for Keon Coleman for me. It may be a little high for some of y'all. I think it's absolutely on point and on par for where he should be. He's got lots of ability, lots of talent, but the landing spot will dictate a lot. Which QB is going to throw him the football? Will he be able to improve what he is not great in and become that elite alpha wide receiver one that everybody's looking for? I think he can, and that's why he grades out that way for me. There is no recency bias. I love the fluid ability, so he definitely gets plus grades for me in all those respects. So there you have it. That is Keon Coleman, Florida State Seminoles. I'm a big fan. I think that he is a very talented wide receiver. He will make noise in the pros, and I hope that he does land on a team that will give him every opportunity to grow his game, because there is so much untapped potential in this man that we have not seen yet, and he could absolutely elevate his game to yet another level, and I'm all for it, man. Let's go, Keon. I'm a big fan of yours, no question, but nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. You in on Keon? You out on Keon? Who are you looking for Keon to drop to in the draft, man? Throw it in the comments. We can definitely talk it out. But we'll see you next time. I am out.